Today's video is going to be all about the things I do to keep myself mentally and emotionally healthy. Number 1, mindfulness practices. This is the one thing I want to keep talking about because it's extremely helpful with the anxious mind, with depressive moods. Mindfulness has changed my entire life, especially meditation has transformed my entire personality, and not in a way that I've become a new or a different person. It's just helped me connect with my true self, who I am at my core, and living with that intention and showing up like that every day has brought me so much of joy and so much of happiness in my life. Of course, all my intrusive thoughts and fears are under much control since practicing it consistently. I'm able to be in the present moment a lot more, and even if I find myself in anxious or panicky situations, then I can just start taking slow deep breaths and I'm able to bring myself out of that situation almost instantly. Meditation has so many benefits. It releases stress, it helps with physical symptoms, with your physical health, obviously with your mental health, and this is something I want to recommend to everybody, and I want everybody to try it because it's so rewarding if you just build that practice. It's hard in the beginning because you have to sit still with your thoughts, you have to observe them and stuff, but again, as I said, if you keep at it, if you keep practicing it, then it will change your life. If you are a beginner, then you can start with guided meditations. They're all over the internet. You can go on YouTube, you can find them on Spotify. I know there are some apps out there for meditation too. I haven't tried any of them. When I was starting out nearly 2 years ago, I would just go on YouTube, so that's a good starting point. Now that I've been practicing it for a long time, I just do it more intuitively. I do it on my own, but sometimes I do put on meditation music, or I put on chantings, or I chant myself. Those are excellent tools. Visualization meditations are my absolute favorite. They are just so stress relieving and you just feel wonderful after that. I normally do these at the end of the day, like right before I go to bed, and one of my favorites is I just close my eyes and I imagine myself lying down on a forest floor, and I just feel the breeze on my body and I feel the sun on my skin, and I feel the earth beneath me, and it's just so comforting. It's so peaceful, like I cannot tell you. You have to try it. And I think you can also do it with like other natural bodies. For example, if you're a water person, or if you want to do it at a mountain peak, or just whatever, you know, they relax you so much. They can help with a lot of things, because I also know in inner child meditations you visualize yourself going back to a certain point or having these dialogues with your inner child. Or you can also, like, if somebody has hurt you in the past, then you can just visualize yourself having a conversation that could be healing to you. You can go wild with it, and they're so amazing. Breathwork is another mindfulness activity that I really want to include in my routine more. It's still fairly new to me. I've been learning about it just now in my yoga classes, working with different kinds of pranayams, different kinds of breathing techniques to activate different chakras in your body, or to detox your body, or to release stress or emotions. For example, there's something called abdominal breathing, wherein you breathe into your stomach and then you exhale from your stomach. And then there's something called thoracic breathing, wherein you only breathe into your chest, you don't let it go to your stomach, and then you breathe out from your chest. And there's just so much more, and I think I want to talk about it in more detail once I understand more about it, once I've practiced it long enough. But you can definitely check it out. There are so many resources online, and I have heard that this is incredibly good for your mental health because it releases all the trauma. I have seen so much on the internet wherein people start crying, they start screaming after doing like certain type of breathing techniques, so definitely look into it. Connecting with nature is my all-time favorite because it's just so restorative. It literally gives you a breath of fresh air. Even just spending a few minutes, and I will go as far as to say just a few seconds, can instantly change your train of thought and improve your mood. And it helps with this overwhelming existentialism which is at the core of our anxiety, because you can take a step away from your own importance and you can look around and see all the beauty you're surrounded by, and you can feel how small we are in the best ways possible, because then our problems don't seem as big as they normally do. Nature gives us a deep sense of hope, deep sense of comfort. It speaks to our souls, so try spending time in nature. If you live in an apartment, having plants in your house can be really helpful, or you can go out for walks. It can help a lot with your mood. Number 2, movement. Moving your body in some way every day will clear up the stagnant energy, will release the stuck emotions, and also exercising releases endorphins, which are the feel-good hormones, so it can instantly uplift your mood. There's so many movements that you can try. You can do fast-paced movements like HIIT and slow-paced movements like yoga, stretching, walks, or creative movements like dancing. Doing more intense forms of exercising can help with racing thoughts because you come back to your body. They can keep your physical body healthy and fit, make you stronger. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of these, but I've been trying to include them more into my lifestyle. I prefer slow-paced exercising like yoga or stretching. Those are my favorite because it's like gently loving myself while also moving my body. They can help you be more present with your body and with your thoughts in a safe space. Number 3, being in the fields. Despite all of these practices, healing can and will bring out all sorts of emotions, thoughts, fears, and the best way to move forward is to feel them. Distracting ourselves or denying ourselves an outlet will keep the emotions stuck inside, and this can lead to a lot of physical illnesses, from chronic pain to autoimmune illnesses. Our body stores trauma, so you want to be releasing these emotions constantly. Now, it'll take a lot of practice to come to a point where you can feel these emotions and be with them and just observe them without acting on them, but this is where mindfulness practices can help tons. So the next time you want to cry or you feel angered by someone, then be with those emotions, deal with those emotions in a healthy way without judging them or denying yourself that release. Number 4, finding an outlet. Journaling, audio recordings, talking to a trusted person, or just any other creative form of release can help release everything that is in your head. They can help you gain more clarity. They can help you identify repeating patterns, being able to see things objectively, give a new perspective, a different different solutions to your problems. Because the thing is, when we are in our heads, everything seems too big, too real. So when you sort of transfer that into the real world, then you can get a more truer, more logical perspective. Plus, you'll feel the weight being lifted off your shoulders because you have sort of thrown it out of your system. Number 5, working on your gut health. Our guts are said to be our second brains. There are nerves present inside our gut lining which are in communication with different parts of our body. And now we know that trauma happens in the body, not just in our minds. So when we're stuck in survival mode for long periods of time, our gut cannot absorb food and nutrients as effectively. This leads to a lot of chronic digestive issues like constipation, IBS, and adding to this, the lifestyles that we're leading, that our culture is promoting, of consuming processed food, fast food, which are high in processed sugars and trans fats. These sort of things, they have bad bacteria which inflames the gut lining. Research has shown that this bacteria can actually enter your circulatory system, which can lead to causing inflammation in various parts of your body. There's also research showing that a lot of psychiatric conditions are associated with bad gut health because this bacteria can also enter your brain and cause psychiatric illnesses like ADHD, autism, even schizophrenia. We've never been taught the importance of gut health or food and nutrition in general. It's just something we do for pleasure, or we do it out of obligation because we want to stay alive. What food you eat literally defines your entire existence, I feel like. And it's been one of the hardest things that I've been practicing for my mental health, because if you watch what you're eating, then there's just so much that goes into it. You have to do your meal preps, you have to plan everything in advance, you have to see what fits your body, you have to actively avoid the things that are not good for you. And I live with my family, so if you live with like different people, then it's just really hard because eating stuff that's right for me all the time is not feasible. There's also social obligations. You have to go out, you have to meet your friends, you have to eat with them, and there's just so much. But I think we can take little steps to go into that direction. That's what I've been doing. Small habits that can improve my gut health so I can build on it. For example, I'm trying to clean my gut every single day at early in the morning, so pooping every day. Having plenty of water and eating fibrous foods can help a lot with that. Also consuming probiotics, which are good bacteria, and they occur in naturally fermented foods like yogurt, uttapams, kimchi. Eating nutrient-rich food instead of just consuming carbs has been another thing that's been really helping. Fasting is also said to do wonders to your body. I have tried different kinds of fasting in the past. Now I just do Ekadashi fasting. So I basically fast like 2 days in a month at an interval of roughly around 14 to 15 days. That is personally what works for me. There are different types of fasting, so you can try them out for themselves because different techniques work for different people, so you have to try it out for yourself. Fasting helps in gut detox and body detox. It helps in strengthening our immune system. It helps in fighting autoimmune disorders like cancer. So actively look out for your gut. Actively look out for what you're putting inside your body, what you're consuming on an everyday basis, because it will define the rest of your life. Number 6, not taking things personally. This has eased my anxiety and depressive episodes so much because I have been a chronic people pleaser all my life. I wanted to keep everyone happy and satisfied and keep the peace, while I would absolutely destroy myself in that process. And now I remind myself that I don't need everyone's approval and admiration. People are allowed to dislike me, they're allowed to disagree with me, and that is not my problem or concern, because we all show up in a way that is formed by our own beliefs, our experiences, our own perceptions, and it's got absolutely nothing to do with me. If someone acts differently or they say something hurtful, then I no longer think that it's my fault or something about me made them do it, because I'm not the main character of their lives. They don't revolve around me. Their lives revolve around themselves. So it's unfair for me to assume that I am the problem in every given situation. And with this mentality, very little phases me, because now I'm like, that is how they're deciding to show up, and I accept that. And I also accept that it has got nothing to do with me. But at the same time, you don't want to put up with other people's disrespect. You can clearly communicate what you can and cannot tolerate or accept, because sure, you don't take things personally, and how they want to show up is on them, but at the same time, like, you don't have to be treated in a way that is unfair to you. So if somebody is not treating you right, you have every single right to step away from that situation or even that person. As a people pleaser, I wanted to cry every time I set a boundary. It was so hard in the beginning, but with practice, with patience, it definitely gets better, because once you start doing it, you are showing yourself a lot of respect and you're building trust within yourself. And the more you see that, the easier it will become. Another tip is start setting boundaries with people you are comfortable with or whom you know will understand you. That will just make the whole process a lot easier, as opposed to somebody who has a very less chance of understanding why you're placing the boundary in the first place. This will help you build practice and build more confidence. Also, setting boundaries with yourself is extremely important for your mental health, because just in the same way you won't allow disrespect from somebody else or bad treatment from somebody else, you will not allow that from yourself too, because frankly, we all do treat ourselves really badly from time to time. Setting boundaries with yourself can help improve that. For example, I started setting a boundary that I will not use my phone right before I go to bed or right after I wake up in the morning, because that just leaves me with crippling anxiety. That's just one example. There are many different ways in which you can and should set boundaries with yourself depending on your own situation and your own needs, but do practice setting boundaries with yourself too. Number 7, releasing unrealistic expectations. Having expectations is one of the biggest causes of worry and stress, especially unrealistic expectations at that, both from ourselves and others. Looking flawless all the time, or expecting a friend to always be there and understand exactly what you're saying. All of these things, they lead to disappointment, because nobody is perfect, and expecting too much too quickly can do so much of damage to yourself and the relationship if others are involved. We all have a pace, we all have a timing, we all have to do different sorts of learnings, so respect that process. It's important to have expectations, because that is what will allow you to strive for better in life, but it's important not to romanticize them or run wild with them. Have realistic expectations that are reachable, that are in alignment. And if you feel like you are constantly stressed because you're not meeting your own expectations or others are not, then I think it'll be really helpful to analyze where these expectations are coming from. For example, are they truly your own, or are you just internalizing society's expectations or your parents' expectations or whatever? And also, why do you have these expectations in the first place? Because a lot of times what we expect in life, it's to satisfy a core need. So digging deep and getting to the root level will help you either understand why they're there in the first place, so you can find healthier ways of achieving them, or you can let go of them altogether. Number 8, building trust. Worrying makes us believe that we're going somewhere with it, but ultimately nothing comes out of it. There are certain things in life that are under our control, for example, how long we study for, or trying to find a good match for yourself. And there are some things in life that are not under your control. For example, if you're going to get that job, or if somebody is going to leave you. It's important to understand the differences in these situations and to act on them accordingly. So things that are under your control, taking action steps towards them, giving the best you can in that situation, and then letting go of the outcome, letting go of the situations that you cannot control. And I know it's so easy for me to be sitting here and saying it. I know it's very difficult to even think of doing it, but that's just the truth of life. I've learned it the hard way, and I think all of us learn it the hard way because we love control. We want to be in charge. We want to see where we're going. We want to see exactly what's going to happen. And essentially, we just want to feel safe. But life doesn't work that way. It's full of twists and mysteries and unpredictabilities. Trust is what allows us to feel safe despite it all, because trust gives us the sense that it's all going to be okay. And this is something we have to work really hard to build ourselves. I don't think it comes naturally. Trying to have control comes naturally. This doesn't. So it requires a lot of hard work, and you can start by maybe sticking out a situation that you're really worried about, but you know it's out of your control. Just wait it out. Try to think less and less and less about it, and you will see eventually that whatever happens, it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. And truly, nothing is ever as bad as we think it will be. I don't think we can ever have anything in our lives and in our realities that we're not ready for, the good and the bad. So just having that trust that no matter what comes your way, you're always going to be equipped enough for it will bring you so much of peace and will bring you so much of faith in life. Because I don't think we're scared of something happening as much as we're scared of the consequences and the effect it will have on us and our safety. So strengthening this trust muscle will help you move through life with more grace and with more confidence. All of these practices are interconnected, just how our mental health is interconnected to our physical health, our emotional, our spiritual health, our community, our social circle, the things we eat. Literally everything is interconnected. So I don't think you can do these practices or just take care of your mental health in isolation. A holistic approach is important to sustain your health and maintain it consistently. So having a balanced life is extremely important to maintain all these aspects of your health. Only when you try these things out for yourself can you truly understand if they're good for you or not, if they work for you or not. So take this as just a starting point to explore more, to understand more, so then you can pick and design it to your own preferences. On that note, I do hope this video helped you in some way. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again.